Hey everyone, my name is Mike. I'm a CEO and founder at Burn24, and I'm here to talk about some tips on how to go global with your business based on our experience, based on the mistakes we did, based on fuck-ups we did. So hopefully you'll get to know some things that you'll be able to implement next day. You guys being here means you are more or less in top 1% of people who want something more. And whatever I learned through years of making my own business, it's the patience that is eventually the most important thing in this. Because the problem with people who are successful is that we sort of know them when they are successful. So you haven't heard of me like 4 years ago or 5 years ago when I was running all over the customers for 17 hours a day, barely sleeping at all, going back from Warsaw to Wrocław every other day, which was obviously very hard. So you just saw me, whenever we hit 1,000 customers or something, right? So the huge problem about successful people is that we see them while achieving the success rather than doing the hard work that comes before that. So I'm not very smart. I don't have any super skills. So my only skill is the patience. So whatever I'll teach you within this presentation, I would love for this part to be one of the most important ones. So typically, most of you don't know who I am. So let me have a brief introduction. I'm probably mostly related to Burn24, which is my major life project, sort of. And this is a monitoring tool. So whenever talks about your product company, we collect the data, we present the data in the form of the web dashboard. So it's fully automated, it's software as a service. So you sign up for a trial version, you like the product, you buy the product with a credit card, you continue to use it. If you continue to like the product, you continue to pay with the credit card. That's how it works, and it's been growing pretty well. On many markets, actually, we just passed 40 countries. We have customers from. Some of them I wasn't even aware that those are countries, like Belize at South America. I had no idea there's a country like Belize. So there's 130 new customers every month, which is pretty good. We grow at significant pace. More or less, we tripled our revenue this year alone. So it took us around 4 years to get to first 1,000 of customers. The next 1,000 we will reach with a little over a year, right? So it's getting it's growing faster and faster. And this is actually again one of the tips I can give you, and one of the proofs that you have to be patient, right? We've been doing this for 6 years. First year we've been working on the beta version, then we released. Then for 4 years we've been working on the first customer, on first 1,000 customers. Then the next steps. So here are the tips. The first thing, try to set up a company in the US, and I don't mean for PR purposes. I mean, company in the US has immense value in terms of making your sites easier for customers. And you can use either Stripe Atlas or Paylane Evolve to set up a company in the US. It's very simple. It takes several days to have a company in the US. It's cheap, and you can easily improve conversions on your website. So whatever you do, you probably have some sort of a funnel on your website you can optimize. So more traffic, more demo accounts, more customers, and so at some point the game is all about optimization, and you can optimize in a big way by setting up a proxy company in the US. So for example, this is how the regular, or maybe not regular, but this is how our registration form looks like for Poland. You see all this big ass checkboxes you have to check, and they cause the drop down in conversion rate. So in the US, you don't have the necessity for checkboxes like this. So you only have by signing, I agree terms of and conditions. And it improves conversion in a significant way. So and it goes on and on. You know, the payment process for if you have a company based in Poland, you have to get a tax identification number from any customer, because your accountant will kill you if you don't. And for US, no need. For US, you only need a credit card number, the expiration date, and a CVV or CVC. Right? So it's much more simpler. Actually, the conversion rate from our payment form went up. The bounce rate went down from 50% to 35% by switching this payment forms. Right? So, you know, obviously some of the things it doesn't, you know, it scares customers in a way. Plus, some of the customers didn't know they have tax identification number. They had no idea they have one. So it was really bad choice to ask them for one. So the second thing is to analyze your customers, and I feel like there's so many technologies, so many amazing technologies available out there to track your customers, especially on the website. So you can use Hotjar, you can use Heap Analytics, you can use Yandex Metrica, which is free. I recommend you give it a try. It records all the sessions on your website, and then you can analyze any customer's behavior. So you can sit back and see what they saw while clicking all over your product. And you can literally record their sessions and see what they saw on their screens. So it's very powerful. You can, using technologies like this, you can see patterns for customers that actually bought your product, the ones that didn't buy your product, the ones who bought and left your product, and things like that. And all of those technologies, all those analytics help you to optimize your website. This is how our registration form used to look like. Apparently, it caused 70% bounce rate. So 7 out of 10 people who were visiting our registration form went away because they found this registration form too troublesome. We changed it into this, and suddenly the bounce rate went down from 70% to 25%. So we had almost 3 times more customers by only fixing the registration form. So I feel like marketers these days, they are all looking for new channels to acquire more traffic, to whether we should be on Snapchat or YouTube or whatever new medium is out there, while not thinking about our own website and optimizing. You know, this cost us 2 days of work, and we found out about it 3 years down the road. You can imagine how pissed we were with ourselves by not realizing this early. So yeah, this is the conversion rate from the main site went from 2.5 to 7.5, and we keep optimizing this. Last Friday we changed our website from dark to bright, and we started to collect emails straight on the main site, so we don't redirect you to the registration form. We collect emails from the main site itself. And the conversion rate, or actually number of daily trials, went up by 25%. So again, we have 25% more revenue by fixing something which is more or less small part of our website, right? So I encourage you to use analytic tools. I feel like, you know, I thought that analytics tools is something for large companies to optimize the revenue. So once you have millions, you can probably squeeze a little more through analytics. Now I think that analytics is something that can determine whether you'll live or die. So you should really incorporate analytics into your startups to understand customers, to track their behavior, and to potentially pivot so you can match their expectations. Yeah. So it also helps you to fix churn. We had huge problems with churn over past year or so for our international customers. In Poland, churn was never the issue. However, for customers outside Poland, we always had a huge problems with churn. We used to have churn like 15 to 20%, which is way too much on a monthly basis, right? So so we started we created a cohort of customers that actually churned out in Google Analytics, and we analyzed what was their behavior. So we were looking for early something we call red flag metrics. So the things that suggest that this customer will churn out, will leave our product in a week, 2 weeks, month or so, right? And based on that, we were able to reach them before it happened and pull them back into the product. So we fixed our churn. It's currently around 5%, which is very acceptable for the global product. And you can see how it changed, right? We used to be losing, 30% of our customers in first month. So let's say we signed 50 customers in, or let's say 100 customers in June, and so we lost like 30% of this customer base already in first month, and you can see how it keeps improving. Yeah. So the next thing I would recommend is to find valuable sources you can find your customers. So there's a number of websites or number of analytics tools that will help you to analyze your competitors or products that have similar target group. So, for example, for us, when we launched a global product, we were looking for other tools for social media managers, for PR managers, marketing managers, whatever, right? And we were looking what is the source of their traffic, which websites people use to find those tools, right? Like moz.com and some others. So you can use SimilarWeb for free to get to know where to show your product to your potential customers, how your biggest competitors are getting their traffic, which is very, very powerful. Another thing, which is probably the most difficult thing to implement in your company from all of my slides, is to try to go wild with your communication. I feel like most of our companies are young, and rather than copying large companies, corporates, we should try to outmaneuver them, to stand out with our communication, to beat banner blindness, rather than to copy their press releases or banner ads. So, for example, I'll show you the video we've done, and we haven't released it yet. It's very, very fresh. A video we wanted to celebrate the 5th anniversary for Brand24. So the script for the video was probably written by life. So every time there's a new customer within our product, I get the notification on my mobile, right? Whenever there's somebody visiting our pricing page, I get notification on my mobile, and then I wait. And if I get another notification about the payment, then it's like, fuck yeah, right? Because there's another new customer coming up, and we have like several or 19 or 20 or something new customers a day. So every time I get somebody goes into payment form, I'm like, come on, and then boom, right? So, and then we are always super excited, super happy about new customers. So we thought that we can sort of record a video about this, and we will show this video as a thank you page. So we wouldn't have we won't have any more a boring thank you page where we are just like, thank you for choosing Brand24, here's your invoice, whatever, right? We will show the full screen video that I will show you right now.
Guys, I think we've got one.
Thanks. So we hope to release the video next month, hopefully. But it will be generating. The video will be generated per customer. So every customer will see their own email within the video, and they'll be able to share it online. You know, like we caused this. We made them happy like this. So hopefully it will work. It's actually, you know, the shooting those videos is the best thing ever. We had to cover the smoke detectors in our office, and the only idea we came up was to use condoms. So then we figure out we have to buy the biggest condoms out there, and you know. There was a lot of argument. Who's gonna go to the like pharmacy to buy the biggest condoms? Everybody wanted to do that, right? So we had Daniel, you know, pulling the longest straw and going to the no pun intended, and going to the pharmacy, and you know, I've never seen him so proud when he was like looking over this Trojan's XXL or something, and like. Nothing bigger you have, ma'am. A lot of fun. So and this is, you know, this is what we believe in. You have to try this communication, and because who else, if not young companies who don't have a difficult shareholder structure, they don't have members of board, and you know, a lot of ties to other companies. So and then we use this content to generate GIFs, which we use to communicate with customers. So, you know, most of our videos generate GIFs like this. You know, we now know how Tom looks during orgasm, and you know, or my co-founder, CDO. I'm very happy it doesn't. We don't see the bottom of the screen, because it might be also. Yeah. So. And we use those GIFs. We use them with communication, or during the communication with customers. So we use them on intercom, on live chat, and this makes things very, very kind of personal, and it humanizes the brand and makes us look more human, and builds stronger relationships with customers. Hopefully there'll be screenshots. Yeah. So whenever there's somebody buying product, I make sure to also thank them personally, and you know, with the GIF, you know, post as a DiCaprio from Gatsby, right? So you know, life will give you some possibilities to shine with the communication, and to make people laugh, and to build strong relationships with your customers. For me, one of the major things like this was when Konica Minolta US, for some reason, embedded my video on their main site. You know, after hours, I do some video editing. This is my passion, other than the Brand 24. And for some reason, they found my video from Silicon Valley, and they put it on their website, in the main part of their website, right? Konica Minolta US, which is a large company, right? What they didn't think through is that on Vimeo, you can edit the content after you publish it also. So we figure out that we can try if we can make Konica Minolta promote Brand 24. So we put some silly message in a video. It worked. We put it on Facebook, and then things got a little not under control, a little away from control. So it was very, very, very quick when people were asking us to put the announcements like I'll sell the old Opel car or something. So yeah, but the thing is that during 24 hours, when we had the control over Konica Minolta website, we broke down their website 3 times, I guess, with too much traffic, and they realized that it's something that they have to be aware of, probably earlier than 24 hours later, and decided to buy the monitoring tool, and guess which one they choose to buy. So it was very, very happy ending. good thing that it was, because it could have went the wrong way. So the next thing is, I jump from the topic to topic, but I hope you don't mind. So the next thing is try to use subscription model. And which product seems cheaper to you guys? It's like on the left side you have $49, and on the right side you have $99 or euro or whatever, right? It looks like the one on the left is cheaper, right? Well, it's not. In the subscription-based model, you have to multiply the monthly payment for a number of months that customers average spend within the product on average, which is 24 months for us. While in the non-subscription model, you only have this $99. And it's very powerful, because you have much more money to spend on customer acquisition, on your customer happiness, whatever. So, I always dreamed about having a product which would be kind of real. So like a GoPro or something lifestyle, some hardware. And then I realized that it's pain in the ass to promote, because you don't have much money to spend. Because, let's say your typical customer acquisition cost should be 30% or 25% of your customer lifetime value, so the money customers spend within your product. So you can probably spend $20 to $30 to acquire a customer. That's not a lot of money. So typically, let's say your brilliant website has 1% conversion from visitors to customers, which is like a lot, at least from my understanding. So you have to. So if you have $30 to pay for the customer, it means that you have 30 cents to pay for the click, because it's 100 times less, right? And it's really hard to buy valuable clicks in this economy for 30 cents. We certainly pay more. So it's difficult, right? So more and more companies move towards subscription-based model. And you can see Nespresso, who are making their coffee machines cheaper and cheaper just because they're making more money on the capsules. Which is sort of, it was kind of a subscription-based model, right? Because you pay for the capsules like you would pay for any subscription at any product. And you can see more and more companies do that. Dollar Shave Club, $1 billion valuation, company that's younger than my company, already $1 billion worth, based on the subscription model, selling the razors for affordable price. $1 a month, you have razors coming to your door. And it's very, very powerful and very, very, it's very good business, because again, the actual spending per customer is much greater than the price you see on the website, and the price that you feel in a way. So I recommend thinking about new businesses in a way of a subscription model, or some sort of a hybrid between subscription model and maybe some other products. Another thing I wanted to encourage you guys to do is to engage discussions relevant to your business. And believe me, internet consists of every discussion for every topic, literally. There's dozens or probably hundreds of people who are putting their credit cards online, on Instagram, every week or month, right? Preferably both sides, so you can use both, so you can see both CVC and all the numbers. So there are profiles like Need a Debit Card that retweet people putting their credit cards online. So if you want to buy some stuff on AliExpress or wherever, it works supposedly. Let's say, so there's a number of conversations for any industry. So whatever you do, if you fucking produce Smurf figures, there's probably dozens of discussions relevant to your business, and you have to access those discussions. This is actually the top source of traffic for us. So whenever there's somebody looking for the monitoring tool, social listening tool, marketing tool, social media managers tool, whatever, we engage and we promote our company, but in a very, very non-sales fashion. So we try to solve someone's problems, we advise them, and in a way we promote our company, and it works. And it's top conversion rate from any sources of traffic we use. So even very influential bloggers promoting our company don't have such a great conversion rate like ourselves promoting our company within the discussions relevant to our business, which is kind of weird, right? Because if I'm coming here and saying that Brand24 is the best company ever, you know, it's not very trustworthy. But since I'm a CEO, but if someone else talks about my company, it should be much more meaningful, right? So in this, why it's the other way around? Why our own recommendations are so powerful? It's because we are touching people, we are building relationships with people at the time where they actually need our tool. So it's not like typical marketing where we're trying to grab someone's attention while driving his kids to school or something. And we're trying to push them to buy a new car, a new shampoo or whatever. We're entering people's lives at the moment where they actually need the product that you offer, which is very, very powerful. And it works for us. And the top side for us is Quora. We have 800 trials alone from Quora on a monthly basis, from 4,000 trials in total that we have. So 1/5, which is a lot. And our lovely Gloria is engaging most of the discussions relevant to our business. So again, whoever talks about social media tools, and it works really, really well. And one additional tip I can give you if you decide to go for this and to engage those discussions relevant to your business is once you find the channel that works for you, like Quora works for us, or maybe some message board works for you, or some blog works for you, you can research those sites in tools like SEMstorm or SEMrush to see what are the keywords that those sites are getting the biggest traffic. And then you find the most popular conversations within those websites, and then you can engage and you can get most traffic out of it. So you can actually find the most popular threads within those channels that work for you. So the last thing I wanted to tell you about is patience. And I briefly touched this at the beginning of the presentation about patience, about in a way stubbornness. You have to remember that for most successful startups, it took 3 to 4 years to get to 1 million in annual revenue. So again, 3 to 4 years before they got kind of successful, right? And I feel like these days startups are like, quickly, I need to sell some product. If I will reach like 10 people, if they like the product, then we're in the business. If they don't like the product, I should probably pivot, or I should probably try something else or whatever, right? And you know, people forgot about statistics, and here's the stats for our first customers. So at the beginning, to get one customer, fucking one customer, we had to contact 75 people that I pitched, and I was like, hey Boris, do you want to try this new amazing tool? I saw you have a cool product. You can get to know whatever people say about it, right? And like 25 people out of 75 decided to test the product, to test a demo, and then out of those 25, only one bought the product. And this is actually pretty good conversion rate. It's not brilliant, but it's good, right? So, you know, and you have to keep it in mind. Just imagine that being in this room, pitching your product, and out of all people being here, only one kind of likes your product enough to pay for it. It kind of sucks, right? It should be demotivating, but it's kind of a good business already, right? So you have to keep it in mind. You have to be aware that how much time it takes, how much effort it takes to sign a single customer. And again, because most startups fail not because they don't deliver the solution that they promise. Most startups fail because of problems in communication of the product to customers, which ends up being a problem of sales. And you need patience, you need persistence, and this is kind of my wish to all of you guys. If you have any questions, I'm all yours.
Hi, Mike. 2 questions. First one, I've seen an interview with you 2 weeks ago.
So it was you.
That's right. And someone asked you about your plans to optimize your fiscal schemes to maybe go to
fiscal schemes kind of sounds kind of dodgy. Like
yeah, I mean,
there's no schemes. We pay all the taxes.
Since last two weeks, we know about a few plans of Polish governments. Are you considering to go to Czech Republic with your business?
Why?
To optimize your fiscal schemes, right?
No, we own the company in US, but it's fully owned by a Polish company. So we pay all the taxes here. So there's no like revenue optimization where we don't pay the taxes for some offshore or whatever. It's the Polish company pays full taxes for the revenue it gets from the US company. So we invoice the US company and we pay taxes like we would invoice any other company.
Okay, so the second one.
And just to answer your question, I don't look to move away from Poland. I feel like working from here has a huge benefit in terms of access to amazing people for affordable price. You can hire people like this in Silicon Valley with less than 100K a year salary or something, right? So, moving outside Poland, moving to Silicon Valley we would lose one of our key advantages, access, low burn rate. We are so excited about startups raising 5 million Series A, 15 million Series A, whatever. Imagine $15 million. What I would do to have $15 million, I could pay for anything. My companies probably will never be worth $15 million or something, right? And people don't realize that while it's cool, if with the Silicon Valley burn rate, it takes you like a year to burn for this money. So again, we don't realize we have this huge advantage from working from here. There's a number of companies who do that. One of my shareholders is a company called LiveChat. They have 17,000 customers worldwide. Less than 1% of customers is from Poland, and they don't have a soul outside Wrocław. Nobody. Outside one of the villas in Wrocław. They have nobody. And yet they are super successful, growing, 1.3 billion zloty valuation on the Polish stock. So it's definitely doable from Poland. Why shouldn't we? We have all the things that we need here. Especially if you're running a business that you don't have to have handshakes, the sushis, spas together. We have customers from Tehran, from Belize, from countries I wasn't really aware of, right? And this is the beauty of the world we live in. We can do this business from Poland and still be successful.
Okay, and then second one, can you name your main rival on the global market of monitoring and what features they are better than you?
Mention and none. No, but seriously, I mean, maybe one of their advantages is simplicity. It's a very simple product. And for some people, the simplicity is the key. We're also striving for simplicity, and it's good product. But I wouldn't say that they have any features that we don't actually. While there are companies that do have features better than us, but they don't necessarily target the same market, right? We are both targeting sort of a medium companies, and there's a large number of monitoring companies that target enterprises. There's a large number large number of free tools that target those small companies. Not a lot of companies that target medium market.
Excellent.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. First, I want to say it seems like you watched a lot of US debates because, the Christians are really familiar with that. I was just trying to ask, how would you think the relation between personal branding and the company branding? And how much do you think even all those videos and everything you say, maybe...
It's huge.
Yes.
It's huge. And it has pros and cons, obviously. The pros are probably bigger, especially for me. I don't mind cons. I don't mind people asking me silly questions at 10 p.m. on Saturday.
Not my question.
How do I log in? I lost my password, Mike. And it's we have like help desk to do that. You can reach them 24/7 or whatever. But maybe yeah. But it definitely has pros, right? I encourage you to research Dollar Shave Club case. It was such a huge personality from Mike, CEO of the Dollar Shave Club, and it drive the business and it opened doors for him. It helps, and it helps us both in Poland and outside Poland. We can see that mixing personal branding and company branding really helps to humanize the company, and it's much easier to turn your customers into brand ambassadors, where they promote your company, on conferences across France, Facebooks, Twitters, whatever. So although there's definitely some cons like not sleeping very well, there's definitely a lot of pros, and I would encourage any company to build personal pros. Like even technically, it makes things easier, since like Facebook sliced a reach for fan pages a lot. You don't have any reach without spending money. While my personal profile, which is less popular than Brand24's, like probably like 2 times less followers, I still get way more reach through my profile. So actually, my profile is the top source of traffic for the Brand24, and we did it by mistake in a way, because we didn't anticipate that Facebook will slice the reach, and we will be then so happy to have a popular personal profile. But it kind of went this way, and I think this is the way for other companies.
Anyone else?
Come on, guys. I drove all the way here to Warsaw.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say a short thank you, because around 2 years ago you were here in Warsaw in SGH, and you talk about starting your own business, and you told something like...
Please say that I changed at least one slide.
Yes.
Okay. Sure, sorry.
Because you changed subject. But you basically said something like, do anything, don't try to be too innovative, just be nice to customers.
Yeah.
And we tried. We just we sat there with my business partner and tried, okay, let's fuck it, and let's do it. Sorry. So I want to say thank you, and sorry. This is like my personal thank you for you.
Wow.
This is my name on it.
Best audience ever.
Yeah, however, so far it sort of rather looks like your slide from 2 years ago, where you were like messy bed with like no sleeping and grind. Okay, so this is like, now is the question.
You were 5 minutes late. You were supposed to do that like 5 minutes ago, or before the presentation. So,
okay.
So I get like.
Okay, so now serious question. Last year, Innova Venture Fund invested in your company. It was quite loud. And how do you find your working with them? And do you happy with their investment? And do you find other companies they invested, for example, like Booksy, as your rival, or maybe as a friend company you work with?
Yeah, a great question actually. So first and foremost, thank you for this. And I don't drink alcohol that much, but I appreciate it. And what you were saying is that I typically say that ideas are easy, implementation is hard, which is not my quote, obviously, but I keep saying this because people overvalue ideas. They look for a fucking 3D printer with QR code and drone and mixed with some VR, right? Because it all sounds cool, and we all want to be innovative. We want to be the first one in our niche, right? And people just forget that Facebook wasn't the first social network, Google wasn't the first search engine. So there's plenty of space in just fixing existing problem better than the next guy. And it also, like, I love to get to gesture with this stuff. I honestly believe that you can take any business you see in life I know, like a grocery shop, a Italian restaurant, a vodka manufacturer. Okay. Don't do vodka, and you put a great customer service on top of it, and you get a really great business, because people strive for good customer service, and there's not many companies around who do customer service really well. So you were asking about Innova and what's our So we raised a million zloty last December at like $8 million valuation. And it was more or less the first money we raised over 5 years or 4 years of our journey. And I don't have that much experience with other VC funds, but I really love guys at Innova. Really, I would like to believe that I have a sort of position in Poland that I don't need to have to kiss anyone anymore. So I really like working with the guys. They bring a lot of value other than the company, other than the money. So like there's a lot of things that they help us with the churn. Like a lot of we dropped the churn from 15% to 5%, and a lot of this is due to their analysis of our or where we churn actually and why customers churn. So they drove us to implement things like NPS, to have a cohort analysis, the true cohort analysis, things like that. So it's very good fun in my opinion. As for another part of the question, we love Booksy. We love Stefan Batory. I love his name even. I think that if I would have to bet which company other maybe than Doc Planner will be a Polish unicorn, I would bet on Booksy. They're killing it. They're like growing like hell. Stefan is a really nice guy. He's a really smart guy, and we exchange a lot of insights. Because even though he's aiming hairdressers, I'm aiming social media managers or PR managers. There's a lot of similarities within our businesses.
Okay, quick question. I know it's the last one. Is Brand24 based in Warsaw?
Sort of like, yeah. We founded this company in Warsaw, and we have an office here at Tamka Street, and like 1/3 of the company or 1/4 sits here.
Okay, fantastic. What would be? I know you gave a lot of great tips.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan of simplification. I stop at 3. So what would be like the number one thing that you've seen maybe happen from the startup space in Warsaw, coming from like the founders and the entrepreneurs, that you could really just like kind of focalize and recommend maybe that they might be all doing or something along those lines? Is there anything that stands out? Yeah,
you should start to exchange the knowledge and forget about...
How do you get them to better communicate? Because this is something I'm very passionate about.
It's not only about communication. It's also about sharing the knowledge. Because people talk all the time, but they just hold the insights. And not many companies show you their churn or their revenue or their growth or whatever stats, or they share that they have problems with something. People don't even share the success because they are worried that will drive competitors to rise, right? When we started this business, we were like, I don't know, company number 12 in Poland for social media monitoring. Now there's probably like 25. And I'm pretty sure that most of the companies that were founded afterwards were founded because they read too much of my posts on Facebook. And you have to live with that because the pros are actually greater. Because while sharing the data, you start the culture of openness, which is one of the main reasons that Silicon Valley is what it is. And we are where we are because they exchange knowledge. The competitors can sit there, exchange insights on how to grow the market to become bigger. In Poland, even people with no execution, with no project to show, they scarcely will share the idea because they will be worried that you'll steal the idea because it's such an amazing idea that you'll take it and you'll create a company on your own. So we have to start exchanging insights. For example, I would kill for the event like this, where my only task would be to open my Google Analytics, where we have implemented, where we have full integration, and you can see all our traffic, all our revenue, all the sources of all the conversion rates, and you can ask me any questions.
You should come to Next5.
Not many companies would do that because it exposes them, right? But I still believe that exchanging this knowledge is very helpful, because I know a number of companies that 3 years ago they were 2-3 levels below my company. Now they are way over my company, and there's number of things I can learn from them, and they are willing to share because they got in the spirit of openness of exchanging the knowledge. So. Again, I feel like the things we should promote, the things we should do in Warsaw, Wrocław, any other place in Poland, is to start to truly exchange knowledge without worrying that we'll create competitors and we'll give some tips for other companies like us.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks.